In this video, I'm going to show you how I find winning products 10 times faster than everyone else. And no, this isn't going to be another video talking about finding problem-solving, wow factor products and things like that. I'm going to show you a brand new tool that I've been using to find and validate products, such as this one that has generated over $16,000 in just the past week. And in this video, we're going to use this tool and find winning products together so that you could see how simple this process is and how you can do the same even if you're just a beginner. And once we find that product, I'm also going to share some tips on how you can still beat your competitors even if they're selling the same product as you. So let's get straight into it. So before we get into everything, let me quickly explain the biggest problem that I see with using methods like the Facebook ads library or AliExpress and why these are ineffective, especially for beginners who have zero clue what to sell. Let's use the Facebook ad library method, for example. And the way this works is that we want to type in keywords that most advertisers would use in their ads, such as 50% off. And the principle of this method is to try to find other dropshipping stores that are selling products. However, as you can see, it's really hard to tell whether a store is a dropshipping store or not. And we're also going to run into a lot of irrelevant ads such as this, like Drama Box. Like this has nothing to do with dropshipping. We got ads from Honda who are selling their oil changing service. Like it's not like we're going to dropship oil changing, right? So this is why this method is just really ineffective, because we can literally sit here and spend like 10 hours a day scrolling and finding absolutely nothing. And even when you do eventually find a product such as this, you have no clue how much money that store is making and whether it's even worth your time testing that product. And if you're a beginner with a very low budget, the last thing that you want to be doing is blindly testing products, because this is going to be your fastest shortcut to losing all of your money, which I don't want to happen for you. And this is exactly why I would never test a product unless I have access to a spy tool that will tell me how much a store is making. So what I personally use is a tool called Minea. I'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to try it out. But they just dropped a new feature called trending shops, which allows us to track any Shopify store that we want, and it will literally tell us all of the data for any of those stores. So let's say if I want to use the Facebook ad library method and I run into a store that looks like they're selling a product, I could just go into their store, copy their URL, go back into trending shops, click on add a shop, and then we'll paste in that URL and then click on add. And then from here, we have all the data that we need that will tell us whether a brand is successful with that product or not. So for example, with this store, they're doing around 500,000 visits every single month with a daily average revenue of around $7,000 per day. And if we times this by 30, that means they're doing roughly around 200K in sales every single month, which tells us that the products that they're selling is clearly working, and that is something that we could potentially sell as well. Now, if you don't already have a store that you want to track, I'll go ahead and show you how we can easily find a winning product directly from their existing database. So I'm going to play around with some of their filters, and I'm going to filter all of these stores with a minimum of 5 active ads on Meta. Then I'm going to filter everything with a minimum daily revenue of at least $500. And then I'm going to make sure I filter all the stores with English language. This is just my preference. And as you can see, we have a full list of stores where we can easily see how much money they're making every day, get an idea of their monthly traffic, all of their active ads, and some of their best selling products. So let's go ahead and click on this store called Shin Defender. And we can see they're doing around 70K visits per month. But what I really like about this one is that we're seeing a sudden uptrend in their sales graph. And this is typically the type of products I like to look for. Anything where it starts at a constant state, but then it suddenly starts scaling really heavily, because this tells me that the creatives that they're running or the products that they're selling are just trending right now. And if I want to hop on that trend, this would be the perfect time to do so. So we can see this store is doing around $9,000 per day, which is almost around $300,000 per month. We can get an idea of all the products that they're selling, and we can also see all of the ads that they're running on Meta right now. Now, one key indicator that's going to tell you what ads are working the best is if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of each ad and pay attention to how long these ads have been running for. And typically any ad that has been running for longer than 7 days will tell you that that ad is successful and they are clearly making money out of those ads. And if we take a look at this creative, we can get a better idea of what they're selling, which looks like shin guards, but they are taking the marketing angle towards kids because of course all of the moms and the parents are on Facebook, they have money to spend. And if you take this type of angle, of course it's going to hit them emotionally and make them want to buy a product that is going to protect their loved ones. So as you can see, it's a very simple product, and in just a matter of minutes, we found a product with proven demand and something we could potentially sell. So now let me just go back into the list and find another winning product product with you guys. So this one is called Gym Lamp. Let's go ahead and take a closer look to see what this is. So they're doing around 20K visits per month, around 1K in sales per day, which isn't too bad. If we go up here and click into the store, we can kind of see what they're selling. So it looks like they're selling some sort of product that just makes it more aesthetic when they take photos, probably targeted towards bodybuilders. And if we take a look at some of their ads, we can just get an idea of what is currently working for them. So we can see that they're just doing really simple before and after videos, just showing the effects of the lamp, which I think looks pretty impressive, to be honest. And there you go, we now have another idea of a product that is currently working right now. But the difference of this one is that it's very niche and it's really targeted towards gym goers. But I do think there is a lot of potential because a lot of people go to the gym, and of course everyone wants to look aesthetic as possible. So now let me go back to the list and show you different ways on how you can filter this tool, just so that you can find even more products that are scaling up right now, because those are the ones I really like to look for. So I'm going to go back to the filters, and this time we're going to filter everything with a minimum traffic growth of 100%. Then we're going to filter everything with English language. And now you can kind of see a little bit of the difference of the graphs that we're seeing here, where everything is getting like this kind of sudden growth in traffic, which is telling us that this product is scaling up right now. So this store called Plush Step kind of stands out to me just by looking at this graph right here. So let's go ahead and click it just to get a better idea. So we can see they're doing around 30K visits per month, around $700 in revenue. But let's go ahead and just take a look at their store to see what they're selling. So it looks like they're selling some magnetic shoe insoles, which is a perfect example of a product that I would dropship, simply because it's very light, very cheap to source, and it's also something that people would buy multiples of, because a lot of people own multiple pairs of shoes, and if this product does what it says it's going to do, then they're probably going to buy multiple for all of their shoes, or they might even buy some for their family and friends. But honestly, what stands out most to me about this store is the fact that they're not really doing that much daily revenue. However, they do have a sudden spike in traffic. And this is exactly the type of stores and the type of products I like to look for, especially if I was a beginner, because this means I could simply analyze what they're doing well and model after them, and then apply a few tactics, which I'm going to talk about in this video, on how we can improve upon this store so that we can start scaling way harder before they can. Because as we can see, they're only doing around $700 per day. And in the world of e-commerce and dropshipping, there is so much money to be made, especially with a product as broad as shoe insoles, which can literally appeal to millions and billions of people. So we now found a product that we want to sell. However, there's another competitor who's selling the same thing. How do we actually beat them if we are selling the same thing? Well, it really comes down to three basic principles. The first thing we could do is improve the ads. So this part is very important because this is what's going to get traffic to your store. And because we know this store is already doing a good job of getting traffic to their store, this means we could just use Minea to get access to all of their best performing creatives, and we can simply analyze what they're doing well and maybe potential areas on what we can improve. So like I said earlier, you always want to pay attention to the bottom left-hand corner, which is going to tell you how long they've been running these ads for. So any ads that have been running longer for 7 days tells you that whatever they did in this ad was actually working. So we could take a look at this one just to get an idea of what they did. So it looks like they just used a simple hook, just reminding the viewers of their problem, and then it's followed by an introduction to the product with really simple on-screen captions, just simply explaining the benefits of the product. And you can see how everything is just filmed with an iPhone, and it just looks completely homemade and something you can easily do in your own home as well. Now, if we go back and look at one of their other creatives, if we take a look at this one, we can see that they're basically testing the exact same ad, but they're just using a different hook, because after this, you can see that they use the exact same body footage of the ad that we just saw. So if I was to go out and test this product, what I would do is just spend time to create at least one creative that's modeled after one of their best ones. So what I'm going to do is test a 3-second hook, maybe of a different visual that reminds the viewer of the problem, and then I'm going to film my own videos at home, just showcasing the insole, putting it into my own shoe, and just have like higher quality visuals that look better than theirs, and then just try to test it and see how it goes. Now, that is one way on how you can test those ads. However, another thing that we can do, and what I would strongly recommend, is to take a look at other successful brands in the same niche and see what they're using for their hooks and what they're using for their visuals, and see how you can apply that for your own ads as well. So the way we can do this to easily find inspo is to just use the meta ads library that's included with Minea, and then we could just set up a few filters. So I just want to look for ads specifically in the US. I want to make sure that every ad that I'm seeing here is active and not something that's just dead. I want all of these ads to be running for a minimum of 7 days, and then I want all of these ads posted at least within the last 90 days. So I'm going to select a date range roughly around the last 90 days, and then I want to make sure every single creative is a video, because those are the type of creatives that I would recommend that you test. And then once we have all of these filters, I'm also going to type in a keyword that's related to my niche. So because this product is related to foot pain, I'm just going to type in foot pain right here, and now we have access to a ton of different creatives from other brands who are selling different products but are targeting the exact same problem, which is foot pain. And what we're trying to do here is just simply take inspiration of the hooks that they're using, or even some of the visuals that we can apply for our own product. So if we take a look at this ad, for example, we can see that the hook that they're using is this girl like in extreme pain because this guy is like pressing something in her feet. This is a hook that we can also apply for our own shoe insole product because it's something that's clearly working for this niche. We can even take inspo from this one where it looks like this person is sliding the product across the desk, but the person kind of looks like a doctor, so it kind of like stands out in the first couple of seconds. So again, something you can apply for your own ads. Now, one last thing that you can do is also test different marketing angles that your competitor isn't already doing. And the easiest way to do this is to simply use a prompt similar to this and ask ChatGPT for more marketing angle ideas for your ads. So all I did was put a screenshot of my product, explaining what it is, and then I'm telling ChatGPT the current angle that my competitor is using, and then just asking to help me find 5 different target audiences and angles that I can use to sell this product. And as you can see, we now have 5 different marketing angle ideas that we can easily test, and if one of them hit, that is how we can get the edge over our competitor. So once we figure out the ad part and we now have traffic to our store, this brings me on to the second principle, which is going to be the most important thing that is going to crush your competitor. And this is going to be by simply improving the offer. Because if you think about it, if there are 2 stores that are getting traffic to their store, the store that's going to win in the end is going to be the one who has the best ability to convert that traffic. And you're going to do this in the form of having a really, really good offer. Now, if we take a look at the Plush Step website, we can see that they are currently running some offers. So they are selling 1 pair for $34.99. However, they have a couple of offers where they offer a discount for 2 pairs plus a free ebook, which kind of gives a little bit more perceived value, but honestly not that much. Then they have 3 pairs for like an additional discount plus some compression socks. And then they have 4 pairs for a discount where they include the free ebook, some socks, but also some heel inserts, which kind of again gives more value for that package. Now, this is a pretty solid offer, but let me show you how you can make something way better. So what we can do is just open up ChatGPT and upload a screenshot of our competitor's website and show their offer that they're running. And then we could just use a prompt similar to this. If you want, you could go in my description below and you can get access to all of my prompts and my custom GPTs that I mentioned across all of my videos completely for free. And then you could just readapt this for your own product. But the most important things that you need to change is just telling ChatGPT how much it's costing you to dropship 1 unit of your product. And in case your supplier gives you additional discounts for more pairs, then you also need to let ChatGPT know this as well. And then another thing that I mentioned is that I charge $7.99 in shipping if a customer orders 2 pairs or less of my product. And then once we give all those details, we're just basically asking ChatGPT to help us create 3 irresistible buy one get one offers so that it makes the customer almost feel dumb if they only buy 1 pair of our product. And then once you enter in that prompt, ChatGPT is basically going to figure out all of the math for you, and then it's going to give us this table down below, which is going to let us know how much potential profit we can make out of all of these offers. So for example, if they go with the highest offer that it created for us, we could potentially make $91 from every single sale. And to give you an idea of the offers that ChatGPT created for us, here's a quick demo product page that I created for these magnetic insoles. And the way this works is that we are going to sell 1 pair of our products for $39.99. And this is a little bit more expensive than our competitor who is currently selling it for $34.99. But again, this is on purpose because the entire goal is to make customers choose our other 2 options, which I'm going to explain in just a bit. But if they go with the single pair, they're also going to be charged $7.99 in shipping, making this cost almost $50 to buy 1 pair. So this is what makes our second option a little bit more attractive, where we're offering them a buy one get one 50% off, and customers love seeing buy one get ones, by the way. And for just around $20 more, they can get a second pair, but we're also including a free ebook just to kind of build a little bit more perceived value for this option. Now, this last offer is what we ultimately want our customers to be choosing. And with this one, we are offering a buy 3 get 1 free plus free shipping. So when it comes to consumer psychology, anytime they see the keyword free, they feel like they're getting an insane deal out of that. But not only that, we're also including the free ebook, but we're also including free compression socks and a free lifetime warranty, which again helps to build more perceived value and make this offer look extremely attractive. And the entire goal of this, once again, is to make the single offer make no sense and force our customers to choose either the second offer or the third offer. So this way we can get more profits from our customers, but also increase our conversion rates because we now have offers that are way more attractive versus our competitor who is just running these really basic discounted offers for 2, 3, or 4 pairs. So now you're probably thinking, like, how do you actually include the free ebook and the free compression socks? It's actually really simple. For example, if we want to find some compression socks that we want to add as a free gift, we can easily search up compression socks on AliExpress, and we could just click on this product, for example, and we could see that it only costs us 99 cents to be able to source this exact compression sock. So it really doesn't even hurt our margins at all. And if we want to be able to include an ebook like this for our orders, then we can literally just ask asked ChatGPT to help us create the ebook, and then it's gonna generate a full outline for us. And then what I did is I uploaded a logo of our store, and I just asked it to help us create a cover for this ebook. And this is exactly what it gave me right here. And then once I got that cover, I just asked it to create the first section based on that outline that it generated for us. And then I just copied the entire introduction, and then I took it over to Canva, and then I simply pasted that introduction into its own page like this. And in case you didn't know, Canva has a ton of templates that you can use for building your own ebooks. And this is just one of the templates that I used. And then all you have to do from here is use ChatGPT to create the copywriting for all of the other sections. And you should have an ebook ready to go in literally like 10 to 15 minutes. And then what you do from here is install an app like Digital Downloads into your Shopify store, upload your ebook into this app, and anytime a customer places an order from your store, they're gonna have the direct download link to be able to access that ebook. So aside from improving the ads and improving our offer, there is one last thing that you can do to beat your competitors, and that is by simply looking for different ways on how you can improve the store design or test out different type of landing page styles that your competitor isn't already doing. Now, this is something I wouldn't prioritize too much as a beginner or if you're just testing out a product, because your time is much better spent focusing on the creatives that are going to get traffic to your store in the first place. If you don't have your creatives or your marketing angles figured out, then there's literally no point of having a beautiful landing page if no one's going to see it. And when it comes to looking at different ways on how you can improve upon your competitor's website, it mainly just goes down to the color schemes and also the images that they're using. So this competitor right here, to be honest, they're using really good quality images, and it's really hard to find different areas on how you can improve upon this. But let's say your competitor had really trash quality images right here, then again, this is one way on how you can improve upon that. But a second area that I would look for is to see if they have social proof images, and ideally a little bit higher up on the landing page. So we can see that this store does have social proof images. They have people holding their product. And again, this is a really good example, and it shows that they somewhat know what they're doing. So your competitor's website is something that you can use as an example, but again, just try to find little bits and pieces on how you can improve upon it. And this could potentially increase your conversion rates, but again, not so much. And you're really gonna see more of the differences by setting up a good offer like what we talked about. So that's pretty much my entire process for finding products much faster. Again, I strongly recommend using the new trending shops feature with Minea, because this is going to allow you to plug in the link of any Shopify store and get a clear overview of how much money they're making, but most importantly, run into stores that have a sudden spike in traffic, which is what you want to be looking for. This way you can catch the trends of these products at the right time. If you want to give this tool a try, I'll have a link in the description below, and you can use my code TAY20 to get 20% off your first 3 months with Minea. And aside from that, that's pretty much going to wrap up the end of this video. I hope you guys did find this valuable. If you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to this channel, as I'm going to continue dropping more advice on dropshipping, e-commerce, and how I run ads. And make sure to join my free Discord group as well, so that you can be connected with other dropshippers as well. And follow me on Twitter for more up-to-date advice on what I'm currently doing for all of my stores. And with all that being said, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.